everyone. Today I wanted to speak a little bit more about inner peace because it's something that I feel as humanity we all really desperately need. And for me personally, it's what I strive for in this lifetime. For me, having inner peace is success. If I can get to a point in my life where I am literally uncompromised, unreactive, and just calm and centered, if I can get to that place in this lifetime, for me, that is the ultimate success, and that's what I live for each day, to try and get to that moment, which is challenging, of course, but you know, we've all got our things that we want to work towards in life, and this is definitely one of mine. So I want to cover what it is, how to achieve it, or some tips to achieving it, or practicing inner peace, and also a few tips on dealing with the outside. How do we continue having inner peace? How do we continue to be peaceful with outside influences? So the first point, what? So for me, inner peace is coming from and being in a place of calm. It's just being balanced, unreactive, and just being in a place of certainty. So with regards to making decisions, your actions, coming from a place of inner peace, you are always acting from a place of alignment. You're always acting from a place that is centered and is rooted in who you truly are, who you really are. And I feel like coming from a place of inner peace, you'll never feel compromised. You'll never regret an action or saying something. You'll never regret not doing something or doing something, because when you are coming from a calm center, when you are from a place of calm, when you are in a place of inner peace, external influences can't affect you in any way. And it's just being in the present moment as well. Being in the present moment and having external influences, external distractions can't go hand to hand, because when you're in the present moment, that literally is all there is. There is nothing else, and there can't be anything else when you're in the present. So for me, those are what inner peace means. Obviously, it will mean it will mean differently to different people, but I think from all the things that I've read, all the things that I've experienced, for me personally, this is kind of what encompasses the feeling of inner peace. The second thing, how do we get there? So one of the first tips, and I think one of the easiest to do, is the heart-focused breathing technique from HeartMath. And I've done a previous video on the heart-focused breathing technique, so please refer to that on how to do it. But with heart-focused breathing technique, what I love about that is you can do it anywhere. The HeartMath techniques are designed to be practiced anywhere. You can practice it on your desk, at work. You can practice it in a meeting. You can practice it out with friends. You can practice it just doing your day-to-day routine. Maybe you're watching the TV, maybe you're washing up in the shower. And you can also do it with your eyes open. Unlike meditation, you don't need to take yourself away from a situation, or you don't need to take yourself out of what you are already doing, which is why I really love it and why anyone can do it. Anyone can do it pretty easily. And you can just practice that for as long or as little as you need, but it really brings your system into regulation, and that's what HeartMath is all about, bringing your internal systems all into coherence with each other. So it is actually scientifically backed and scientifically proven that the HeartMath techniques do bring your body into coherence. And the second tip is meditation. Meditation is an amazing tool. I love it, but it does take time. It does take time to learn it. And I remember when I started learning, I couldn't meditate at all when I first started. I couldn't even sit still for 1 minute without getting distracted or having thoughts going around in my mind. So it does take time, but the difference between meditation and the heart focused breathing technique is, with the meditation, you do need a space. You do need a private space away from people, away from distractions, noise, especially when you're first starting out. And obviously there's lots of guided meditations that you can listen to, which are really helpful for the beginning. But the point is, with meditation, you can't just do it anywhere when you're starting out. But I highly recommend meditation for life in general. It's something that I could not live without. Another tip is having a grounding movement. I love the Tracy Anderson method. If you are interested, look her up. For me, I've probably tried every exercise, every class, every gym, almost every gym in London anyway. But yeah, and for me, nothing compares to the Tracy Anderson method, and it's all about using light weights, but mostly using your own muscle to exercise and move, and it's just really meditative and grounding. And so something like the Tracy Anderson method, Pilates, yoga, going for a walk, hiking if that's something that you enjoy doing, but something that just connects you internally, something that you can also connect with yourself with. So yeah, grounding movement for finding it. This is for finding inner peace. This isn't to do with exercising and losing weight or whatever you want to exercise for. This is specifically for inner peace. So finding a grounding movement is a great tool also, and also qigong as well, tai chi, things like that. Being in nature, obviously, that's the most simple basic one. Just finding a local park, a local green area, even if you're not in an urban space. Are there any mountains even where you are, rivers, connecting to water, just anything to do with nature, just spending time, 30 minutes a day, even if you can't do that, 30 minutes a week even, or 10 minutes a day. If you're lucky enough to live near an open space of any kind, just get out in nature, because that is something really grounding, and just trying to connect with nature really allows you to connect with the energies of the earth, connect with yourself. And it's obviously a bit difficult to do in the middle of winter, but in the summer, and if you do live in a warm climate or you don't mind freezing your toes off, I highly recommend walking on the grass in your bare feet. That's something that's really grounding, and it feels so lovely when you do it. It's just so peaceful. And the last point that I want to speak about is how do we continue this? How do we take this to the outside with us? Because as I mentioned before, it's very easy to practice inner peace, be calm and be focused and centered when we don't have the outside distractions. But oftentimes, if not all the time, as soon as that moment of peace is broken, we revert straight back to our survival mode, survival instincts, our distractions, being anxious, worried, fearful, being frustrated, stressed. So my tips for bringing inner peace to the outside is again the heart focused breathing technique, because with that technique you can do it any place, anytime. It's really a go-to. Another one is just having empathy for other people. You know, I'm sure you know within yourself you're dealing with lots of things, lots of situations, and just recognize that you're not the only one. There is, you know, everyone's dealing with something. So just empathize, even if someone is reacting to you or if someone's shouting at you, being rude. Just have empathy for where that came from, because clearly they are going through something. Another tip is to listen. So if you feel yourself, I don't know, getting wound up in any way, shape or form with someone that's saying something, someone speaking to you, a conversation that you're having, and you find yourself getting frustrated or triggered by it in any way, just listen, really listen to what the person is saying, and just try and understand what they're saying. That's a really, really great tool, and that's called active listening, and it's not listening to respond or just listening to find the gap in where you can interject and give your opinion or your 2 cents. It's really listening with a view of trying to understand what the other person is actually saying and feeling. Also observing people, observing situations around you, being able to pause before responding to someone. That's a tip that I read recently, actually. Before responding to anything, pause. That's something that I also need to practice sometimes. And if you just pause, take that brief moment before you respond to something, you'll find that even just the tiniest little gap between what you want to do or want to say can really make a difference in what you actually end up saying or doing in response to something. And what also goes with the empathy side of things is just see another side, but in this point, come from a place of curiosity, because your opinion is not the only opinion, and it's probably not right because no one's right, really. And that's another thing that I've learned, because there's obviously so many billions of people on the planet, and we all have our own unique individual experiences, and it's impossible for us to all see something exactly the same. And instead of I don't know, being annoyed or be reactive by what someone's doing or what someone's saying, just try and be curious to see where they're coming from with what they're saying. Be curious, maybe ask them, maybe it's a moment to ask them about their lives, ask them, you know, what they've been through. Use it to get to know someone, to really get to know someone, and just really value and cherish another side of something, someone else's opinion. And by doing that, we can learn so much from each other. And just knowing that your point of view is not the only point of view. Your point of view is just from your own personal life experiences, and you can imagine how many billions of different perspectives there are in the world. And to come from a place of wanting to even know someone else's perspective or wanting to look at something differently is just, it can be really fun and it can be really interesting. So yeah, I hope you found these tips useful. I hope you found this video useful. I've actually enjoyed this one. I love talking about inner peace and things like that. So yeah, I highly recommend this if you are interested. Well, highly recommend these tips and these points if you are interested in living a life with more inner peace. I think it's something that we do really, really need. So yeah, I like pushing this subject. And yeah, take care, and I shall see you in another video. Bye.